everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new playthrough campaign series. You guys have been asking for it. I'm happy to do it. Y'all want more For Against Darkness. I was kind of taking a break from it, but I've gotten a lot of requests to go back to do For Against Darkness, which I get. I like For Against Darkness, 2d6 dungeon, those solo dungeon crawls, they're great. When I decided to do this, I have now decided I'm going to twist it up a little bit. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll show you. I have 3 other books, all by Andrea Svilgoli. I massacre his name, and I do apologize, Andrea. I have Twisted Minions. So, when I encounter a minion in this dungeon, I roll in here. This is a D100, I believe. Yeah, D100. When I find the final boss, I will roll on the Twisted Final Fights. This is a unique boss that I will fight instead of the basic 6. And for the Twisted Dungeons, this you roll once, and it creates a theme for the dungeon. So let's go ahead and try it. It's a D100. No, it's a D88. All right. So you roll 2 D8s. That's a D10. That's not a D8. Let's get a D8 out of here. That's a D8. Okay. So I'll make blue the high one. So you roll the blue and the red. This will be the first digit. This will be the second digit. And I rolled a 65. So you basically turn to entry 65. They're all numbered. And you read it. The Collapsing Dungeon. As the characters travel through this dungeon, every time you roll a special event, one of the already explored rooms, pick one at random, caves in. If the entrance room collapses, the party will have to spend 3 clues to find a secret passage that leads out. You may do so from any room, but once out, you may not return to the dungeon as the secret passage will collapse. If the room is occupied, for example, by a creature you bribed, roll a d6. On a 1 to 4, those creatures have succumbed and you may dig out their treasure, but you will have to roll twice for wandering monsters to do so. On a 5 to 6, the creature has moved to a random nearby room. The second time that a special event is rolled, 2 rooms collapse. The third time, 3 rooms collapse. If there are no more dungeon rooms available, the room where the party is will collapse and the party will be destroyed unless they have a mass teleport/escape spell or similar means. Well, the problem is clues. You don't get clues very often, so this could be a very bad one. What I do is for this, I decide this is my first dungeon that I'm running with these low levels. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark that up as I showed you how this book works. And until I get maybe the level 2 and maybe get my first clue. I mean, obviously 3 clues, you're not going to, a first level set of heroes is not going to collect clues enough to prevent that, because there will be some special events rolled, and that means rooms will collapse. But that's how Twisted Dungeon works. I will check on that every dungeon, and if it corresponds to something that is possible, I will play it. But in this case, getting 3 clues is not possible. So let's just play the dungeon as is. I have a warrior, a cleric, a rogue, and a wizard. I like the basics. And if you're not familiar with this game, I will try to explain it as I go, but most of my viewers probably have seen previous games and they know how this game plays out. I'll be tracking their health here. My wizard has 2 sleep spells and a fireball spell. I forgot to write that down. So a sleep, 2 of those, and a fireball. Just 1 of those. All right, let's get started. The first thing you do is you roll 2d6 to get the entry room. Green will always be high when I play this game. 4, 3. This will be the entry room. There is no creature in this room, no encounter. You just draw it and start the game. So 4, 3 is a 3x3. By the way, I'm doing a horizontal map instead of vertical. Just change it up a little bit. I usually do vertical. So we come in, and we've got a 3x3 with a door right there. All right, this is the entry room. Nothing happens here because it's your safe spot. All right, you pick where to go. Well, in this case, I can only go through that door. So we'll roll again to see where it leads. A 6-3. 6-3 is a long corridor. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 with 2 doors. All right, so a corridor with a door, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, with a door here and a door here. Now, in this game, when you enter a room or you enter a corridor, you have to roll to see what happens there. And that is on page 83 of the core rulebook. Now, I am making myself a cheat sheet, like a Dungeon Master screen for this game. I haven't finished it yet, and that will keep me or help limit the amount of page flipping I'm doing. But right now, I've got to deal with it. So you have a corridors column and a room column. You roll 2d6, you add them, and then 2 through 12 is your number, and it tells you what happens. I am in a corridor. I will roll the 2d6. I rolled a 3. A 3 is roll a d6 trap table. Now, in my game, when you move through a corridor, it's a 2x2. I always, as a standing rule, my spellcasters are in the rear, and my rogue and warrior are up front. When you encounter a trap, it triggers. But if you have a rogue, you can try to disarm it. So first off, I have to roll to see what the trap is. And the trap is on page, well, it's in different places. It's on page 85. You roll a d6. I rolled a 4. A bear trap, level 4, hits the character leading the march. Okay, the rogue is a level 1. He will add 1 to this die. If I roll a 4 or higher, then I disarm it. I rolled a 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. It does not beat a 4, so he takes a point of damage, and the rogue is down to 3. And I will just make a note that there was a trap in here. So, I don't want to continue through the corridor. Let's go through this door right here. And I rolled a 3-2. 3-2 is more corridors. Okay, so there's the door. It goes in 2. It goes up 3. 1, 2, 3, and then over. And then this one goes over 2 to a door. And this one goes over 2 to a door. Okay, let's roll to see what it is. Again, going to page 78, or no, what was it? 83. 83, we'll roll to see. We're in a corridor. I rolled a 5. A 5 on a corridor is a special feature. Not a special event, a special feature. Roll a d6. So the special feature is on page 85. Roll a d6. That's weird for a corridor to have one. Did I do that right? Yep. All right, I rolled a 4 on the special feature. It's a cursed altar. Cursed altar. It says, as you enter the room, well, that's not right. A special feature table. Yep, on a corridor. Okay. So it's a cursed hallway, apparently. As you enter an eerie glow, a random character is cursed and is -1 on defense. All right, so what we'll do is I will roll a d8. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left to right is warrior to wizard. 1, 2, 3, 4. My cleric's defense is now down to its -1. To break the curse, the character must either slay a boss monster alone or enter a blessed temple or having a blessed spell cast on them. All right, now my cleric, by the way, does have 3 blessings. You can do it 3 times per adventure. So I am going to cast that, and what I'll do is I meant to write blessing here. And I've got 3, and I'm going to burn 1 so that she does not have to go down to a 1 defense. Her normal defense is +2. And that is that. All right, let's keep going. I am going to go through this door. And I rolled a 5-3. 5-3 is another corridor. Come on, man. It's a T corridor. It goes like this, like that. And what is in here? That's probably not good. A 2 is treasure. Just treasure, nothing else. Okay, the treasure table is on page 86. You roll a d6 only. I rolled a 1. D6 gold. I'll re-roll that. 2 gold. All right, and I am going to track my gold up here because each hero can carry 200 gold, up to 200. That means I can carry with 4 800. I'll track that here, and when I hit 800, they can't carry any more gold. And if you lose a hero, you're down to 600. All right, let's go through. There was a treasure here. I'm gonna write cursed altar just so I remember that I did this. And this was a treasure. Let's go through this south corridor here. 6-4. 6-4 is a room with a door. Now, in this case, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to a room, but I won't be able to fit it in. So the rules tell you that you can sort of twist it as you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it into here. The room, by the way, is going to be a 2 by 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can fit this. So it goes over 4, and it is a 2 by 3. So I will make a 2 by 3 room here, and it has to have a door. So what I'll do is I'll place the door in this corner because if I place it there, it's just a dead end. All right, we have a room now. Let's see what is in this room. Roll 2d6, add them together. That is a 6. A 6 is vermin. All right, vermin. I will circle the V. I track what I do. I do not get a when I kill minions, I track it on this number, but vermin don't count. When you kill 10 minion groups, not 10 individual minions, but groups, you get an XP roll to try to level up a character. All right, so on the vermin table, I need to see what I encounter. And the vermin table is on page 87. You roll a d6, and I rolled a 5. D6 vampire frogs. All right, I will put this in here to let you know what it is. There are 2 of them. 2 vampire frogs. Okay, now the vampire frogs are, let's see, the vermin. Let's get to vermin. Vermin. 2d6 vampire, this says d6. Yeah, d6 vampire frogs. They are level 4. Level 4. Come on, where are you? 4. There we go. And treasure roll at -1. I'm just going to go ahead and fight them. So because I have 4 heroes and only 2 enemies, I can choose how I want to distribute them. I will have the warrior attack this one and the cleric, and then these 2 we will see. They may, if they're still alive, we'll see what happens. So the warrior will step up and attack this one, and the warrior rolls a d6 and he adds +1, his level. And I need to equal a 4 or less. I hit a 4. 4 + 1 is 5, which does beat it, and I beat 1. The cleric is +0. The vampire bats, they're not undead, right? The vermin, let's see, vermin. Vampire frogs. No, they're not undead. So she is just +0 on her attack, I believe. She has a mace, but I think her fight is just... the cleric adds half his level to attack. Yeah, half the level rounded up. Or is it rounded down? Half rounded down. So yeah, so I don't even get it's +0. So I need to roll a 4 or higher for her to defeat this. I got a 3 and she misses. The rogue, we outnumber the vermin. So, oh, by the way, you roll a d whenever they're down to half or less of their number, you roll a morale roll. If you roll a 1 to 3, they run away. They run away. So that one runs, and I defeated the minion. However, I do get a treasure roll, and the roll will be at -1 because the frogs, the vermin, just don't have much. So let's roll a d6 and see what I get. I rolled a 5. So a treasure of 4 is 1 gem worth 2d6 times 5. That is 4 times 5 is 20 gold. Now this is a gemstone. I don't know if it counts. I'm going to put 20 and I'm going to put gem. I don't know if gemstones count towards that 200 gold encumbrance. Probably, but we'll just figure it out. All right, there's a door. Let's go through it. I try not to backtrack if I don't have to. Backtracking, when you move into a corridor or a room that you were previous in, you roll a d6. And if you roll a 1, there's a wandering monster that surprises you. So let's go through this door. And I rolled a 5-2. 5-2 is a square room with 2 doors. Well, it's a 3x3 with a lot of hallways. I'm at a dead end here, so the only thing I'm going to be able to do is add another door. So what I'll do is I'll swing this down and I'll make a quarter out with a door. And this room, this is all stone, so I'll shade it in so you can see the dungeon a little easier. It's just stone wall. Okay, let's roll to see what we have in this room. Page 83. Roll 2d6. Adam, that is a 7. A 7 is a minion. All right, we have a minion. So let's take this out and let's see. Now the minion, what you do is you roll here, I believe. No, twisted minions. Excuse me. Usually you create complicated twist every time you encounter a group of minions. So first you roll the minion type. So I go to the minion table, which is on page 87. We roll a d6. I rolled a 2. 2 is d6 plus 3 goblins. 8 goblins. So we have 8. That means 2 for every party member. Goblins, minion. These guys are level 3. So they're a little easier to kill. Treasure -1. It says they have a 1 in 6 chance of gaining surprise. Let's see if they surprise me. They do not. Okay, so they don't. But now we go to the Twisted Minions book. Now in this book, you roll a D100. I have a black D10 and a white D10. Black is the 10s digit, white is the 1s. This is an 86. So you turn to not page 86, but encounter 86, and you read it. These minions are looking for jewels and gems. They can be automatically bribed with any gem or jewelry item worth at least 100. Well, mine's worth 20. Reroll this result if the minions are mindless zombies. They're not. All right, so it looks like I have to fight them. So you line them up, and we'll do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't have any more. I will just. Oh, you know what? I'll use dice. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I need one more. Come on now. We'll get an 8. All right, there we go. 8 of them. And they're all level 3s. So remember, this game has what's called exploding dice, where when you roll to attack, if you roll a natural 6, you get to roll the die again and keep adding. So you could just keep rolling 6s, and I think the highest I've ever done is 24. I rolled like a bunch of 6s in a row and added my attack damage, so it went up to 24. Let's have the Barbarian go. The Barbarian steps up. He is at +1 to attack. 2 + 1 is 3, so I do manage to kill one. The Cleric steps up, +0. And I rolled a 4, manages to kill one. The Rogue is -1. He has a light weapon. 4 - 1 is 3, and manages to kill one. Now, the Sleep. Do I want to waste a Sleep on 5 enemies? It would be a minion, and I would get some treasure. Let's do that. I'm going to have the Wizard cast Sleep. So here's how this works. First off, you have to cast it successfully, meaning I have to roll 3 or higher. Now, my wizard gets to add +1 when he's rolling a spell. So I got to roll a 2 or higher, and I rolled a 4. So I did cast the sleep spell correctly. Then you roll d6, and you add your level for the number that will go to sleep. 4 + 1 is 5, and these all go to sleep. And when you put a creature to sleep, it's the same as killing it. So I now have 1 minion group killed. I'm down 1 sleep spell, but I do get to roll on the treasure table at -1 again. So let's roll for the treasure. I rolled a 1. You can't go 0, or it says 0 is no treasure, so no treasure found. Okay, let's keep cruising. We'll go through this door. That is a 3-4. 3-4 is a circular room with a door at the end. So it goes 1, 2, And then a 3x3 circular, so it's, and with a hallway like that. And there is a door here. Okay, no problem. What is in this room? A 7. Well, I know what that is. I just rolled it. It is a minion. So we'll roll for a minion. And the minion is going to be a D6. 5. D3 trolls. 4 trolls. Okay, let's get it out. 4. Replace this with trolls. The trolls are level 5. Ooh. Okay, level 5. Normal treasure. They regenerate unless killed by a spell or unless a character uses another attack to chop it into pieces. If this does not happen, roll a die for every killed troll on the next turn. On a 5 or 6, it comes back to life. Wow. Okay. So we're in a room, so there are 3 trolls with level 5. 5, 5, and 5. Let's see. And by the way, on the last one, the sleep spell, they never rolled a morale on that goblins because they never got below half, which would have been 3 or less goblins. They started with 8, so when you get down to 3, you have to be less than half. So here, if I can get rid of 2, the other one might run away. Might. The warrior steps up at +1. I'm going to re-roll that. Misses. The cleric is +0. And I rolled a 5, and she manages to kill it. Now, we outnumber the minions. So the rogue can do a backstab. He gets +1. And the +1 negates the -1. So he's at +0, basically. And he misses. Do I want to have the wizard? The wizard is also -1. I'll have him try. And he misses. All right. The 2 trolls will step up. I will have the barbarian and the cleric defend. The warrior is +2. The way defense works is you have to beat the level of the monster. So the level is 5, and my warrior has +2. So if I roll a 3, that doesn't beat the 5. It ties it. You have to beat a defense roll. So I need to roll a 4 or higher, and I don't, and he takes a point of damage. And the cleric is +2. And also takes a point of damage. It is now my turn. The warrior will step up and attack. +1. 4 will not do it. The cleric +0. 4 will not do it. The rogue +0 does it. All right, now there's down to 1. Does it run away on a 1 to 3? It does not. The wizard will try to attack. -1. And misses. The barbarian steps in to defend. I need to roll a 4 or higher. I did. No damage. And then he will attack at +1. And 4 + 1 is 5. And I defeat it. So that is 2 minion groups killed. And by the way, I forgot to put M in here so I can track the number of minions. And the trolls give me a treasure roll at or was there a modifier? I think there was no modifier. D3 trolls, normal treasure. So you just roll on the treasure table with no modifier. It's a D6. And I rolled a 4. A gem worth 2D6 times 5. 11 times 5 is 55. Now, you can always run out of this dungeon. If things get too hairy, you can leave. If you come back to the dungeon, you still roll for new encounters and stuff like that. But my philosophy is if you leave the dungeon, leave it alone, heal up, come back to a new dungeon, try again. Let's go through this door. I rolled a 6-3, which I've already rolled that. That's a long corridor with 2 doors. All right, that's interesting. So there's a door here and a door here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect that. That just makes sense. And now we'll roll to see what is in this corridor. A 6. 6 on the corridor is vermin. All right, this is interesting. So when you're in a corridor, only the first 2 heroes can attack. It's the rogue and the warrior, and the two in the back, if they're spellcasters, they can cast spells. Now this is vermin, not a minion, so I have to roll to see what type of vermin it is. And the vermin table's on page 87. It is a 6. 2d6 skeletal rats. 8 skeletal rats. Now these are undead. Why does that matter? They're level 3. There are 8 of them. Undead, no treasure. Crushing weapons are at +1. My cleric does have a crushing weapon, so she will get +1. They cannot be defeated by bows and slings. That's okay. And they're vermin, so I'm not going to be rolling on the minion table. But the problem is only my front 2 guys can attack. There are 8 of these guys. So I'm going to go 3. 3. And only the front 2 can attack, so it kind of helps you. 3, 3, 3, 3. Now I could cast sleep again, which I might do. So I've got 4 and 4. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go. The barbarian will swing at +1. That is an exploding die. So right now he's got 6 + 1 is 7. That's enough to kill 2, but let's keep going. 7. 11. 11 will defeat 3. I will take 3 of these off. This one slides down. Very well done. And now the rogue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not at less than half, and the rogue only gets -1 and misses. Now the front 2 will get an attack. This one will attack the barbarian. I have +2 defense, so I need to roll a 2 or higher, and I did, so no damage. And the rogue is +1, so I need to roll a 3 or higher, and I did. So some monsters you treat exploding on defense rolls, but I've already beat the 3. But if it was a 10, I might need to keep going, right? Because this would be a 7, and then I would need to roll. So it depends on the level of the monster. So no damage. The warrior will attack. Did I do? Yeah. The warrior will attack the front one at +1. 4 will get rid of this one. So I'm going to shift 2 down. They will shift in the quarter, so there's always going to be an attack. The rogue, there's 4. We're not less than half yet, and I don't outnumber them. So they don't make a morale roll, and I don't outnumber them, so the rogue does not get their bonus. But the rogue will roll at -1 and misses. All right. First one gets an attack on the barbarian. 4 + 2 is 6. Defends. The rogue is +1 and defends. The warrior comes at him. 4 + 1 is 5. He kills 1 more. We are now down to less than half. Do they run on a 1 to 3? They do not. So we got to finish this. The rogue, we now outnumber, so he gets to add +1, which negates the -1. So he's at +0, and he does defeat 1. 2 more attacks on the warrior. Nothing. 3 + 2 is 5 on the rogue. +1. 2 + 1 is 3, which does not beat the 3. So the rogue does take a point of damage. And then finally, the warrior misses. The rogue, +0, hits. Once you do the morale roll, if they don't run, they're not running. And then this one will attack the barbarian. And 2 + 2 is 4, misses. The barbarian swings and kills it. 3 + 1 is 4 and beats it. Now these were vermin, so I get no roll here, and they have no treasure. So there you go. That is 4 Against Darkness. I always keep my videos, or try to keep my videos, under 30 minutes. So I will be back in a week with the next episode. Until then, everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.